Numbers 19, the ordinance of the red heifer. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, This is the statute of the law which the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you an unblemished red heifer, in which there have been no defect, and on which a yoke has never been placed. You shall give it to Eleazar the priest, and it shall be brought outside the camp and be slaughtered in their presence. Next, Eleazar the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger and sprinkle some of it toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. Then the heifer shall be burned in its sight. Its skin, its flesh, its blood, and its waste shall be burned. The priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet and cast them into the midst of the burning heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterward come into the camp, but he shall be ceremonially unclean until evening. The one who burns the heifer shall wash his clothes and bathe in his body in water, and shall be unclean until evening. Now a man who is ceremonially clean shall collect the ashes of the heifer and deposit them outside the camp in a clean place, and the congregation of the Israelites shall keep it for water to remove impurity. It is to be used for purification from sin. The one who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. This shall be a perpetual statute to the Israelites and to the stranger who lives as a resident among them. The one who touches the dead body of any person shall be unclean for 7 days, and the one shall purify himself from the uncleanness with the water made with those ashes of the burnt heifer on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and that he will be clean. But he does not purify himself on the 3rd day. On the 7th day he will not be clean. Whoever touches a corpse, the body of anyone who has died, does not purify himself, defiles the tabernacle of the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from Israel, because the water from purity was not sprinkled on him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanliness is still on him. This is the law when a man dies in a tent. Everyone who comes in the tent, everyone who's in the tent shall be unclean for 7 days. Every open container which has no covering tied down on it is unclean. Also anyone in the open field who touches one who has been killed with a sword, who has died, shall be unclean. Then for the unclean person there shall take some of the ashes of the heifer burnt for purification from sin, and running water shall be added to them in a container. A clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water and sprinkle it on the tent and on the furnishings and the people who were there, and on those who touched the bone, or the one who was killed, or the one who died naturally, or the grave. Then the clean person shall sprinkle the water on the unclean person on the 3rd day, on the 7th day, and on the 7th day the unclean man shall purify himself and wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and shall be ceremonially clean at evening. But the man who is unclean and does not purify himself, that person shall be cut off from among the assembly, because he has defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water for purification has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. So it shall be a perpetual statute to them. He who sprinkles the water for impurity on another shall wash his clothes, and he who touches the water for impurity shall be unclean until evening. Furthermore, anything the unclean person touches shall be unclean. Anyone who touches it shall be ceremonially unclean as well. So in ancient Israel, if you touched a dead body, you had special ash water to clean your hands with, right? But I believe that a lot of this, the red heifer ashes symbolize the cleansing from sin, pointing us to Jesus, providing a way for spiritual cleanliness. Thank goodness, right? Because this is foreshadowing Jesus' ultimate sacrifice in our lives. So we're reading, and some of it we'll be like, what? But it all will make sense here. It's going to click here in a little bit. This is your daily Bible chapter reading God's Word Monday through Friday. See you tomorrow.